Hey everyone, my name is Sam, and this is I Went to London, Lesson 52. You can watch all my previous videos on my channel in the playlist I Went to London. Have you ever picked up a book, stared at the pages, and thought, this is so boring? You're not alone. A lot of people, especially beginners, feel the same way about reading. They sit down with a book, excited to start, but within a few minutes, their mind starts to wander. The words feel like a tangled mess. The sentences seem never ending, and before they know it, they've either lost interest or fallen asleep. Sound familiar? Reading can feel like a chore, especially when you're still learning a language. You open a book and see page after page filled with words you don't know, and suddenly reading feels like hard work. You struggle to understand what's happening in the story, and after a while, you start wondering why you even bothered. But here's the thing, reading doesn't have to be boring. In fact, it can be one of the most exciting and rewarding things you do. The problem isn't reading itself, it's how you approach it. Think about this. If someone handed you a book filled with complicated words, long paragraphs, and a story about something you have zero interest in, of course, you'd get bored. It's like watching a movie in a language you don't understand without subtitles. No matter how good the movie is, you won't enjoy it if you can't follow the story. That's exactly how many people feel when they try to read books that are too difficult or not interesting to them. One of the biggest reasons people find reading boring is because they're trying too hard to understand everything. Have you ever stopped reading just because you didn't know a word? You spend so much time looking up definitions that by the time you get back to the book, you've forgotten what you were reading in the first place. This makes reading feel like a never-ending puzzle, and that's not fun. Another reason why reading can feel dull is that some books just don't connect with you. Maybe the story takes place in a world you can't relate to. Maybe the characters are talking about things you've never experienced. When you don't see yourself in the story, it's hard to stay interested. It's like listening to a conversation about something you don't care about. You tune out. Now let's talk about long and complicated sentences. Some books are written in a way that makes your brain feel like it's running a marathon. You start reading a sentence, but by the time you reach the end, you've forgotten how it started. You go back, read it again, still don't get it, and then give up. This is frustrating, and it makes reading feel like work instead of something enjoyable. And then, of course, there's motivation. Even when you have a book that's perfect for your level, sometimes you just don't feel like reading. Maybe you're tired, maybe you'd rather watch a video, maybe you keep telling yourself, I'll read later, but later never comes. This happens to everyone. Reading takes effort, and if it doesn't feel fun, it's easy to put it off. So what can you do? How do you make reading enjoyable instead of boring? The good news is that you can change the way you feel about reading. It's not about forcing yourself to read difficult books or memorizing every single word. It's about making reading work for you. First, start small. You don't need to read an entire book in one sitting. Even reading just one page a day is progress. When you start with small, manageable chunks, reading feels less overwhelming. Imagine trying to eat a giant pizza in one bite. You choke. But if you take it one slice at a time, it's much easier to enjoy. Reading works the same way. Second, choose books that interest you. If you love adventure, read about exciting journeys. If you love mysteries, find a book that keeps you guessing. When you read about things that excite you, you'll actually want to keep going. It won't feel like homework. It will feel like an adventure. Another great trick is to read books that match your level. If a book is too hard, you'll get frustrated. If it's too easy, you'll get bored. Find a balance. Books with shorter sentences and simple vocabulary are perfect for beginners. And guess what? Picture books aren't just for kids. They're great for language learners because they combine words with images, making the story easier to follow. Reading aloud is another game changer. When you speak the words out loud, you're not just reading, you're performing. It helps you feel the rhythm of the language, improves pronunciation, and makes the story come to life. Try reading like you're telling a story to a friend. Add some emotion. Make it fun. And if you ever feel stuck, use tools that can help. A dictionary is great, but don't let it slow you down too much. If you don't understand a word, try to guess its meaning from the sentence. If you're really lost, use an audiobook and follow along with the text. Hearing the words can help you understand them better and make the book feel more engaging. Setting small goals can also keep you motivated. Instead of saying, I have to finish this book, say, I'll read for 10 minutes today. Small goals feel easier to achieve, and each time you reach one, you'll feel more confident, and confidence is key. Finally, the most important thing is to enjoy the process. Don't stress about understanding every single word. Don't worry about reading fast. Reading isn't a race, it's an experience. Imagine the scenes in your mind. Picture the characters. Let yourself get lost in the story. The more you do this, the more fun reading becomes. So tell me, have you ever struggled with reading? Do you find books boring? Or is it the difficulty that makes reading feel like a chore? I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share your thoughts. Let's find ways to make reading fun again.